I'm here representing Gays for Palestine. We're an organization representing the 2SL LGBTQIA plus community that stands with the persecuted Muslims who just want to God in peace, all right? A lot of people are rushing to judgment against the Palestinians right now because of the stuff they're seeing on TV. I just want to say, a lot of people have misconceptions about Palestine. We love that their women have very little rights. That's why they have such few traffic accidents. So we agree on more than you think. The tikka masala is so good because they can lock their women in the kitchen all day. Palestine is very misunderstood. And their passionate dedication to Hamas is an inspiration to other gays like myself on keeping that same passion for their lover or partner. Okay? And seriously, us gays love hummus. So the more Hamas, the better. We just better not run out of naan bread. Stereotypes are tricky. Palestinians love the tricky. All the gays love Palestine. All the gays love Palestine. All the gays love Palestine. Stick it in my behind, 'cause I'm prime time Alex Stein.
Time.
Talk about a confused gender blender. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of just absolutely wild and confusing news to get into today, as of course we have more strife, we have more chaos, and a bigger conflict brewing at hand, as of course we have U.S. soldiers on the ground now in a situation that of course is only going to get a lot worse from here, as the news doesn't get any better, but at least we will get to talk about it in an honest, real perspective here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing with the Grinch who stole normal life, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast was, of course, done by the extremely talented Alex Stein 99. That you could find on Twitter with his latest culture crash at a public community board meeting where he truly just absolutely outdid himself when it came to the comedic satire that he was able to provide to the people of Dallas, Texas. And truly, his stuff is absolutely hilarious. We, of course, will be linking the full uncensored video in the description down below, as well as Alex's YouTube channel, which you could watch more of his outrageous skits on. As, of course, we also just had him on our show here in studio in Miami, Florida. That video is available on rumble.com/wearechange. We had an absolutely hilarious time with him. That 2-hour plus podcast is definitely worth a watch, as we got into a lot of very interesting, spicy issues that sadly we cannot get into here on this particular broadcast. This, as in the United States, things are getting spicy for everyone all around, especially when it comes to the organized and contrived migrant crisis that is being organized by some very powerful business interests that's shipping tens of thousands of people all throughout the United States to essentially be used as cheap slave labor. This, as today we're getting new images of 13,000 migrants just literally being released and dropped off on the streets of San Diego, California, as their shelters there have been overflowing with individuals, and an estimated 200,000 migrants crossed the U.S.-Mexican border at the San Diego sector just this year alone, the highest number in 2 decades, as Texas is reporting that they have already sent 52,000 migrants to Democratic-run cities all throughout the United States, nearly 20,000 to New York City, 13,500 to Chicago, as the state there deals with more horrendous federal government policies that keep incentivizing and calling for more people to come to the United States, which clearly is leading us into a crisis-like situation that call for more government regulation, intervention, and taxes that clearly they cannot keep up with the demand for. This as life for the average citizen just trying to make it by, just trying to survive, is becoming more and more difficult, as we have new, shocking video footage coming from Philadelphia showing an organized group of individuals using crowbars, axes, and ransacking a pharmacy where they were able to get their hands on controlled substances, which of course they're now going to be selling on the illegal black market. And yeah, who cares about crime when you're just trying to import a new voter base? This as the U.S. federal government could just print more money out of thin air, destroy the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar, of the U.S. economy, as geopolitical and international tensions keep questioning the U.S. petrodollar to the point where experts are now warning about more inflation, more high gas prices, and more of what people are calling the deliberate destruction of America, which I personally would agree with. And that's one reason out of many reasons we are partnering with an American made and produced company that sells silver barter bags. This is a company that has been started by my friend, someone that I know, someone that I saw build his business and enterprise from the bottom up. And that, of course, is Silver Dave. He is a part of our Apocalypse Survival training classes. You could get the classes right now by being a member of LukeUnfiltered.com and get to check out Silver Dave himself, who through these classes, who became an expert when it came to survivalism and prepping, decided to start his own silver company that makes, manufactures, and produces these small 1/10 ounce silver bars here domestically inside of the United States. As these little silver bars that I'm holding in my hand right now are perfect instruments of trade and barter. A lot of other silver coins, they're, a little bit too big, a little bit too hard to kind of break down, like this 2020 BAT version produced by the U.S. Mint, as of course a lot of silver people buy and it kind of just stands there. It's kind of like a paperweight. This specifically is cut in a way where you could utilize this, you could trade with this, as people already in New Hampshire, a part of the Free State Project, are going to each other and using little pieces like this to buy some eggs, to buy some chickens, making it very easy to trade. And let's just say we're in a scenario where there's a natural emergency. Say there's something like a EMP or even like a hurricane. You get cut off the grid, you don't have money and access to your bank account. It's going to be pretty difficult to trade with, silver coins that are worth $30. Trading in these little 1/10 ounce heavy metal construction bars is going to be a lot easier. This, as Silver Dave provides some of the best prices out there. He's currently selling his product on JM Bullion. The link is down in the description below, and we thank him for working with us, sponsoring this video. As for me, this is a win-win. I get to support an American-backed company doing really cool things, keeping money inside of the community, being there for a friend of mine, while at the same time providing you an excellent service and product that, of course, you could utilize and use at any time, at any moment, in very cool, creative ways. So check out the link down in the description below and support the company that is sponsoring this video. And it's a win-win all around, unlike American foreign policy that, of course, is getting more and more involved in the conflict right now in the Middle East. This, as we have been telling you, the United States is going to be involved here, as today we're getting the news that U.S. Special Forces are already on the ground and, quote, on alert to help Israeli forces locate American hostages, as we're getting many reports of a lot of previous Israeli reservists flying back to Israel to join the larger war effort there, as U.S. Special Forces have been put on alert near Israel that their assistance might be needed at any moment, at any time here. U.S. hostage negotiators are already in place in Israel, as we have a report that nearly 20 Americans are currently missing right now. As any moment from now, the United States could be using its Delta forces and SEAL teams inside of Palestine in order to help rescue fellow Americans. As of course, we also got the news that a second aircraft carrier is being sent to the Middle East, the Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, which will be anchoring off the coast of Israel, as there are many American neoconservative politicians representing the United States literally calling for a holy war. These individuals, of course, being soft, pudgy, old individuals with no children of their own. This, of course, being Lindsey Graham, that went on Fox News and said this.
We're in a religious war here. I am with Israel. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourself. Level the place.
Yeah, comments that are definitely escalating the current very tense situation that everyone really hopes that doesn't escalate from here, leaving a lot of people asking the question, how is this person speaking for me in the U.S. government? This, as a lot of questions have been put into U.S. military intervention and how their support for Ukraine will look like with this second conflict already unfolding in the Middle East. As the lines are being drawn here, Ukraine made a very favorable statement towards Israel. Russia made a very favorable statement for Palestine. As U.S. General Mark Milley just came out and stated that if somehow Russia will win this larger proxy conflict happening right now in Ukraine, that, quote, U.S. defense expenses will skyrocket and the United States will be drawn into a bigger conflict. Something, of course, that a lot of neoconservative, a lot of war hawks, a lot of politicians that have been bought and sold by the military industrial complex will definitely really like. This, as it's important to note here that there isn't really a referendum here. There really isn't a vote here. Why aren't the American people at least being heard here when it comes to even questioning what we should be doing here, highlighting more clear troubling signs ahead as we are only seeing the beginning of this conflict? As in the making of this video, we are getting reports of Hezbollah attacking Israel from the north, as well as Israel preparing and soon readying itself to go into Gaza, as 300,000 military personnel have been called up to, quote, take out Hamas for good. As many tanks, as many military vehicles are being mobilized right now, as we're dealing with a new form of modern warfare that, of course, involves sabotage, involves drones, involves even cryptocurrencies, as we're getting news reports that Israel has just seized the Hamas crypto wallets, taking away some of their finances. This, as it's also fair to speculate that this conflict will not just happen inside of Israel, inside of Palestine, but will be probably happening with skirmishes and conflicts all throughout the Western world, as the leader of Hamas just called for a, quote, global day of jihad this Friday, which is probably going to make the situation worse for everyone involved here, as there's other individuals in the West Bank of Palestine calling for individuals to take up arms, as publicly funded major organizations inside of the United States that were supported by the Democrats, the establishment, and almost every single corporation out there have come out and supported Hamas troops who parachuted into Israel and then inflicted civilian casualties, as the Chicago chapter of Black Lives Matter officially released a statement showing their solidarity and support with Hamas paratroopers. The BLM Chicago organization then deleted this tweet not before 10,000 people actually liked it. This, as the political lines are being blurred here inside of the United States, with many prominent leftist individuals now questioning their support for BLM, who clearly is very biased here and has a side that they're supporting, as highlighted by this tweet from David Weissman, who says that he would never stop saying Black Lives Matter, and now is not really that happy with that organization and admitting that maybe the right was right about them. This, as we're learning that some Harvard students might actually be blacklisted from Wall Street after signing their support for Palestine, as it's fair to say that people from both sides have definitely been not showing their best side here, as of course there's genocidal sentiment, open calls for violence, and hatred and bigotry that is being normalized against their fellow man who, of course, believes a different religion than they do. And this kind of disgusting behavior has been reported from the Palestinian side, from the Israeli side, as we have reached a situation where some people are even calling for the, quote, doomsday missile to be used right now in the Middle East. As, of course, many geopolitical experts speculate that Israel has a nuclear weapon that they got through very underhanded ways, sabotaging, of course, U.S. intelligence. I think it's also fair to speculate that Saudi Arabia also has a nuke. Iran is probably working on one. I mean, Pakistan has one, and holy frickin' cow. With the way that things are shaping up, they're definitely not shaking up in a good way, to say the least. There's a lot of bullcrap out there. There's a lot of fake news out there. There's a lot of disinformation out there. And I would just leave you with the sentiment that, hey, let's not fall for a lot of this emotional hyperbolic manipulation. Let's try to take a step back here and, maybe just not try to blow each other up That's all freaking hard to ask for, and it is, especially with the madness that is being normalized in our modern day society, and that's why it's more imperative than ever to share this video with your friends and family members. We're doing another video for LukeUnfiltered.com right after this one, specifically going after some of the propaganda, some of the lies here regarding the disinformation campaign that has been waged on the people of this world. Elon Musk is being held accountable by the European governments for spreading this information. Wait until they find out about what the corporate media has been doing. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all on LukeUnfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and supporting and sharing this video, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.